Hello everyone, I am Andreas and my friend.
Hello, my name is Denis.
Today we like to review some materials in English phonology to fulfill our final examination. Our journey will take us through stress patterns, intonation varieties, and varieties of English pronunciation. So let's begin. Okay, first is stress in simple words. Delving into the intricacies of English phonology, stress unveils a captivating aspects that shapes our spoken language. Stress involves the art of emphasizing specific syllables within words, adding melody, rhythm, and meaning to our utterances. This discussion delves into the essence of stress, revealing how it arranges the speech, imparts significance, and wields the power to transform word functions through subtle variation in emphasis. Part 1, Unveiling the Dynamics of Stress. Stress, in its purest form, revolves around allocating distinct prominence to certain syllables in a word. These stressed syllables stands out as beacons of emphasis amidst the linguistic landscape. They are enunciated with heightened volume, prolonged duration, and elevated pitch, setting them apart from their unstressed counterparts. Second part, the rhythmic symphony of speech. Stress in English contributes to the rhythm that characterizes our spoken language. Just as musical notes come together to form a melody, stressed and unstressed syllables create a rhythmic pattern that adds a melodic quality to our speech. This rhythm, often likened to a heartbeat, gives our communication a natural and pleasing cadence. The third part, stress as a conveyor of meaning. Crucially, stress plays a pivotal role in conveying meaning. The placement of stress within a word can drastically alter its interpretation. For instance, the word contract can refer to a legal agreement when stressed on the first syllable, contract, while emphasizing the second syllable, contract, shifts its meaning to a physical action of contracting or squeezing. The fourth part, shaping word functions. Stress wields the power to transform word function, exemplifying its subtle influence on language dynamics. The shift of stress can morph a word from one part of speech to another. The word record with stress on the first syllable, record, signifies a noun, such as a collection of data. However, when stress moves to the second syllable, record, it transforms into a verb implying the act of preserving information. Next, complex word stress and weak forms. Within the realm of English pronunciation, complexity arises when dealing with multisyllable words like compound nouns and phrasal verbs. These intricate constructs introduce unique stress patterns that orchestrate the rhythm and melodic of our speech. Additionally, the phenomenon of weak forms further enrich spoken language, allowing certain words to gracefully adapt to the flow of connected speech. In this discourse, we explore the complex word stress, and embrace the subtle artistry of weak forms. The first part, complex word stress unveiled. Complex words bearing multiple syllables bring forth a captivating interplay of stress. Unlike simple words with a single clear stress point, complex words offer a harmonious arrangement of stress and unstressed syllables. This intermingling creates a distinctive rhythm that reverberates through our speech. Compound nouns and phrasal verbs in particular manifest their own unique stress patterns, adding depth and cadence to our language. The second part, the dance of weak forms. In the intricate tapestry of connected speech, weak forms emerge as a dynamic phenomenon. Certain words undergo a metamorphosis when spoken naturally, embracing a more fluid and effortless sound. These weak forms involve the reduction of syllables, often to the natural schwa sound. For instance, the word to gracefully transforms into t, and an takes and the form of an. This adaptation allows these words to seamlessly integrate into the rhythm of sentence. The third part, enhancing naturalness and fluency. Weak forms are more than just linguistic curiosities. They play a pivotal role in enhancing the natural flow and fluency of spoken language. The adoption of weak forms empowers speakers to communicate effortlessly, promoting a smoother transition between words. This, fluid, this fluidity is particularly evident in rapid conversation, where the graceful interplay of strong and weak syllables contributes to the overall coherence of communication. The fourth part, enriching connected speech. Connected speech, characterized by its dynamic rhythm and continuous flow, is the canvas of which complex word stress and weak forms paint their intricate patterns. The compounding of these elements results in a symphony of sounds that is both pleasing to the ear and efficient in conveying meaning. The inclusion of weak forms ensures that the spoken language aligns more closely with our natural patterns of expression, fostering a seamless and intimate connection between speakers. Next slide, please. Okay. Problems in phonemic analysis and connected speech. Phonemic analysis, a fundamental aspect of linguistic and language study, plays a pivotal role in understanding the underlying structure of spoken language. However, the intricacies of connected speech can present significant challenges to accurate phonemic analysis. In connected speech, the natural flow of language often leads to phonemes interacting, blending, and even disappearing, thus impacting the clarity of phonemic boundaries. This discussion delves into the problems posed by connected speech and its influence on phonemic analysis, highlighting the importance of comprehending these phenomena for effective language analysis and interpretation. The first, the influence of connected speech. The connected speech reflects how language is naturally spoken in real-life conversation. During such as interaction, speakers unconsciously engage in processes like assimilation, elision, and co-articulation. This process contributes to the fluidity of speech, but also introduce complexities for phonemic analysis. Assimilation. Assimilation occurs when adjacent phonemes influence each other, leading to changes in their articulation. For instance, the phrase handbag might be pronounced with the d sound blending into the b sound, resulting in subtle change in the phoneme boundary. This phenomenon, this phenomenon can cause confusion when attempting to categorize individual phonemes. Next, elision. Elision involves the omission of certain sounds or syllables in rapid speech. For example, in the phrase going to, the g sound can be elided, creating the pronunciation gonna. This elision can obscure phoneme distinctions, making it challenging to identify the original phonemic composition. Next, co-articulation. Co-articulation refers to the way adjacent speech sounds influence each other's pronunciation. When transitioning between different phonemes, speakers anticipate the upcoming sound and adjust their articulation accordingly. This can lead to subtle changes in the phonemic characteristic, further complicating their identification. The challenges in phonemic analysis, the interplay of assimilation, elision, and co-articulation in connected speech introduce several challenges to accurate phonemic analysis. First, boundary ambiguity. The fluid nature of connected speech blurs the boundaries between phonemes, making it difficult to determine precisely where one phoneme ends and another begins. This ambiguity can impact phoneme segmentation and recognition. Next, variability. Connected speech exhibits significant variability both within and across speakers. As a result, a single word or a phoneme can be realized in various ways, depending on the context, speaker's habit, and conversational pace. Next, dependency. The influence of connected speech on phonemic analysis underscores the importance of context. Isolated phonemic analysis might not fully capture the intricacies of a language. When it's spoken naturally, understanding context aids in deciphering intended phonemic representation. representation. Okay, the next part will be presented by my friend Dennis Aprilianto.
Okay, thank you, Andres. I'm the next to speak the next slide. Intonation. Within the intricate tapestry of English phonology, intonation stands as a dynamic and anticipation thread. Intonation, the melodic and contour of speech created by various in pitch, adds a rich layer of meaning beyond mere words. Similar to the musical melody, it carries a symphony of emoticons, attitudes, and pragmatic nuance. Enriching communication, this article delved into the world of intonation, illuminating its transformative power in shaping statement question and conveying underlying meanings. The melodic spectrum of intonation. Intonation is a melodic essence that infuses the spoken language with emotical depth and contextual flavor. Just as skilled musical employees different notes to create harmony, speakers use pitch variation to craft the melodic journey of their speech. This melodic spectrum comprises rising and falling patterns, it's contributing this layer of meaning. Rising intonation. A rising intonation pattern involves an upward movement in pitch. This pattern impart a sense of the inquisitiveness and uncertainty, often transforming statement into the question. Consider the sentence, you are coming to the party. The upward pitch counter the and elevate the final word, signaling the query uncertainly, inviting a response. Falling intonation. Conversely, a falling intonation pattern enters a downward pitch movement. This pattern conveys a tone of assertion, confidence, or completion. In the sentence, the meeting is secured for tomorrow. The final piece descends in the indicate the statement finality and the certitude. B. The multifaceted roles of intonation. Intonation plays a multifaceted role in the English phonology, contributing to pragmatic meanings. Intonation endows speech with the pragmatic meanings that extend beyond literal interpretation, a falling intonation to response to nice weather today. Suggests agreement, whereas a rising intonation implies skepticism or request for confirmation. Emoticon, emotion, and attitudes. Intonation part, intonation paint emotional hue on the linguistic canvas. A rising falling pattern can express surprise while a consistent high pitch convey excitement. The emotional nuance, Provide by intonation enhance the listener's understanding of the speaker's sentiment. Discourse marker. Intonation aid in the marking structure of the conversation are raising intonation signal continuation of anticipation of dialogue, while a falling intonation denote a conclusion or a shifting in topics. Nuance, nuance communication. Intonation assists in the convey subtle shades of meaning that written word alone might not capture. The difference between you are here and you are here lies the intonation, with the former expressing recognition in the latter questioning is accuracy. For the next slide, function of intonation. Intonation are captivating element of English phonology, offer a melodic dimension to spoken language that goes beyond individual words and sentences. This interest, the dance of pitch, often referred to as pitch melody to or tone, as layer of meaning and emotion to the communication. In the discuss dive into the core component of intonation, pitch, tone, form, and function to unravel its significance in the English phonology. Pitch and tone. Pitch serve as the musicality of the speech, dictated by the frequencies at which the vocal cord vibrate in the manifest in the various tone, representing different emotional, attitudinal, and the contextual states. The tone, often referred as a pitch contours, play a pivotal role in the conveying pragmatic meanings. Form of intonation. The form intonation pertain to the distinctive pattern created by pitch variation with a sentence or utterance. These patterns can be divided into broad categories. Falling intonation. This involves a downward pitch movement conveying finality, certainty, and completion. Falling intonation is often employed in the declarative statement and commands. Rising intonation. Characterized by an upward pitch movement, rising intonation suggests openness, inquisitiveness, and uncertainty. This commonly used yes or no question and when seeking confirmation. Function of intonation. Intonation serves a multiple of function in the English phonology. It's contributing to the holistic understanding of spoken language. Attitudinal, attitudinal function. At the heart of intonation lies in the attitudinal function, which allows speakers to convey their emotion, attitude, and sentiments through pitch variation. Speakers can express emotion like enthusiasm, skepticism, surprise, or even sarcasm. For instance, rising and falling pattern might communicate genuine surprise, while a falling intonation might convey confidence or the assertiveness, and attitudinal function enable the emotional resonance of the spoken language and raising conversation with the underlying feeling and intention. Essential function. Intonation also play an essential role, guiding listener attention to specific word or element with the sentence by emphasizing particular syllable or word, tone, pitch, pattern. Speaker can highlight essential information, editing clarity and focus. This function aid in the effective information delivery and ensure that the most crucial aspect of the message are communicated clearly. Grammatical function. Intonation possesses a grammatical function that contribute to the sentence structure and meaning. Different intonational pattern can indicate the grammatical category of phrase. For example, rising intonation can transform a statement into the question reflecting the sentence. By altering pitch pattern, base speaker can be interrogative structure, conditional clause, or emphasize key element in the sentence, thereby emphasizing the synthetic nuance and of their speech. Discourse function. In the realm of discourse, intonation operates as a powerful tool for managing conversational flow and structure. Intonation signals shift and topics turn or speakers, helping to maintain the rhythm and coherence of the dialogue. Raising intonation can indicate a continual of talk or invitation or listener to respond, while fine intonation marks the end of the statement or the topic. This function facilitates seamless transition and ensure effective turn taking in the conversation. For the next page, varieties of English pronunciation. English, as the widely spoken global language, has evolved and developed across the region, leading to the plethora of pronunciation variation. These are linguistic nuances reflect the rich cultural tapestry of the English-speaking world. This article explores some of the major varieties of English pronunciation, highlighting how different accent and dialect have a separate way English is spoken across different corners of the globe. British English pronunciation is being one of the early form in the language. Both the several regional accent, received pronunciation, or RP, often referred to as Queen English or BBC English, is a standardization action known its the clarity and the lack of strong regional feature. However, British English also encompasses diverse regional accent like a Cockney, Ustre English, and Yorkshire. And Scottish English, it's the distinct vowel shift, consonant variation, and intonation pattern. American English pronunciation. American English showcases the wide array of the action. Primarily due to the country fast size and the immigration history, General American GA is often considered a neutral accent with the lack of strong regional feature. However, American English includes iconic accent in the like Southern and the New York, Boston, Texas, and the California, all contributing unique vowel sound, rhythmic pronunciation, R sound, and stress patterns. Australian English pronunciation. Australian English has a distinctive accent marked by vowel shift, often referred as the strain action, and the feature the non-rhotic R pronunciation and unique intonation pattern known as the Australian rising intonation. Where statement sounds like question do rising pitch at the end. Canadian English pronunciation. Canadian English display a mixed British and American influence. While some regions maintain non-rhotic feature, other adopt rhotic pronunciation, the Canadian accent varies across province, with the notable distinctions between Eastern and Western Canadian accent. Indian English pronunciation. In India, English has integrated with the various local language, leading to unique pronunciation pattern. Indian English often involve retroflex sound, where the tip of the tongue curls back to the articulate certain consonant. Additionally, regional accent and the mother tongue influences play a significant role in the shaping Indian English pronunciation. South African English pronunciation. South African English is influenced by various indigenous language and European colonized. It's often featured is a distinct vowel system and accent can vary based on the speaker's linguistic background and geographic location. Caribbean English pronunciation. In the Caribbean, English infused with the rhythm and sound of Creole language, This result as an that feature unique vowel shift, consonant drops, and intonation pattern, reflecting the deserved cultural and cultural heritage of the region. Okay, that's all my presentation and Andres' presentation, and we say thank you for watching and listening my presentation. Thank you.